long sorry. Has there ever been a point in your life when you haven't been able to successfully talk to someone in the way that you wanted because of a long distance barrier? Me personally, I have been going through this recently after moving across the country from my family and my girlfriend. These are very increasingly common relationships that we struggle with, especially breaking through this tension and being able to effectively communicate with the people that we care about the most. This physical separation and time differences creates communication barriers. Whether we like it or not everybody is in the same time zone as us, and it makes it hard to communicate in the ways that we want it to. In this presentation, I will argue that through the relational dialectic theory, RDT, we can learn to navigate relationship tensions through autonomy versus connection, openness versus closeness, and predictability versus novelty. The case description really looks at my long-distance experiences. These college years have brought distance from both my girlfriend and my parents. It has got to the point where there are times when I'm not able to correctly communicate with them, and it makes them think that I do not love them as much as they believe that I do. They sometimes can feel ignored or less prioritized. I really noticed this the last month that I've been here, where I haven't had time to pick up the phone and give them the call that they deserved. It has started to result in quick texts. Quick texts tend to think that I'm being dry and they aren't as valued as they think that I don't value them as much as they do. And this has created misunderstandings and tension. So I wanted to discover how RDT, relational dialectic theory, can help ease tensions and maintain emotional closeness from afar. The theory, relational dialectic theory, was developed by Baxter and Montgomery in 1996. Now, from my research, I was able to find that a peer-reviewed article relating to dialogues and dialectics from the Guilford Press by L.A. Baxter and B.M. Montgomery in 1996 really focused on exploring the tensions that naturally exist in relationships. They also focused that tensions are not a sign of failure. However, they can be an opportunity for us to grow. The core dialectics of this theory is that autonomy goes with connection, openness goes with closeness, and predictability goes with novelty. Now, I wanted to talk about applying relational dialectic theory to my specific case. It is really about managing the tensions that we do go through. Autonomy versus connection is having respect for each other's independence while being emotionally present. One thing that I noticed with me and my girlfriend's relationship is that it is very important that I give her the emotional independence that she needs, but also letting her know that I'm emotionally there, even if that is as simple as texting her frequently, but letting her do what she needs to do on her spare time. And then we can go to the openness versus closeness. This is scheduled time for honest talks. For example, we could have nightly calls at 9 p.m. It has been hard to do this, and it's created tension with my relationship between my parents because I don't always have the opportunity to share how open I can be, but it leads to the closeness. Now, we want to talk about predictability versus novelty. See, predictability can lead to a tension of you thinking that there is not much depth between your conversations. And this can happen a lot, especially when you talk to your girlfriend every day online or significant other, whom that may be, and you're like, oh, I know what they're about to say. Because this all has happened to us. Whether you want to admit it or not, this has happened. And ways we can do this is, keeping fresh, which is novelty. You can play games, surprise messages, shared activities. One way that I have been able to embrace novelty to help ease tension is started playing these things called iMessage games. iMessage games are very important to me. I think that they're a great way to connect with your significant other over the phone, especially when you can lack face-to-face skills, and this gives it a little competitive thing to boost your guys' relationship. Also, competing shared activities such as like FaceTiming or other ways. Now, The lessons and practical implications from RDT really could just recognize tension as normal and healthy. When we recognize that tension is normal and healthy, we won't see it as a barrier. We won't see it as something that constrains our relationships and it really affects us in how we believe and think about each other. Now, we can communicate expectations openly and set routines. This is a very good way to help ease tensions and to know that you are not leaving them alone on purpose. Say, for instance, I wanted to talk to my parents at 5 o'clock every afternoon after work and after my practice. This is a great way to do that. It sets a routine for us to make sure that we're communicating and being open. And it's very easy to say, oh, I'm busy to this time of day. Sorry, I can't talk. But also, it is very important to balance time apart without guilt. I feel like independence builds strength. And a big thing about this is that without independence, you're not going to build strength, especially being away in college for the first time. It is very important to find out who you are, be independent. However, it also is very important to balance time together. But understanding that people need to be independent and you can't feel guilty about being independent. I really feel like using relational dialectic theory helps turn tension into opportunities and allows for deeper understanding about the individuals. So basically, to conclude, I wanted to go over that in this presentation, RDT provides strategies to manage distance by embracing tensions and fostering communications growth. Long-distance relationships can absolutely thrive through awarenesses, intentional efforts, and openness to change. These will all help us ease our tensions and build a better relationship within. My key sources came from Baxter Montgomery, 1996, Relating Dialogues and Dialectics. Then, Griffin, in 2023, A First Look at Communication Theory. Then, I was able to pull source from Salstein in 2004 in the book or the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. I also was able to use helpforprofessor.com. And then also, Baxter and Braithwaite in 2008, Engaging Theories in Interpersonal Communication. Thank you for listening.